And the title of his speech is Tonight I Can Write. Julio is working on the Advanced Communicator Bronze towards his second distinguished Toastmaster title. Julio is a business consultant specializing on executive coaching, leadership development to create excellence in organizations. Julio is not satisfied with his performance on the 3 speeches he already delivered from this manual. And this is a reading speech, correct? Therefore, he's taken note on the suggestions given to improve this speech. And the summary is interpreting poetry. And he's working on, the manual he's working on is interpretive reading, and his objectives are to understand the difference between poetry and prose, to understand how poets use imagery, rhythm, meter, cadence, and rhyme to convey the meanings and emotions of the poetry, and to apply vocal techniques that will aid in the effectiveness of the reading. His delivery time is 6 to 8 minutes. Please put your hands together if you want to.
Like Maria said, my commitment is to do everything with excellence every day. Everything I do to me is gold medal at the end. And sometimes I don't get gold medals. Sometimes I don't even get aluminum medals. I fail. I follow the bike a lot of times. So that's why I'm here today, to repeat. I'm going to repeat all my 3 speeches I've done before. And we're going to start with reading of poetry. So one of the things I needed to distinguish here, I needed to distinguish the difference between reading poetry and prose. Poetry must be read in phrases and not on lines. So sometimes it's a line and the phrase ends in the next line. You don't stop or you don't pause at the end of the line. You immediately go to the next line and continue, read the 1 or 2 more words to the dot or to the comma that may be there. A couple of weeks ago, I had the opportunity to go to the University of Utah to listen to Mr. Coleman Barks along with David Darling. Coleman is a famous poet, and he reads Rumi poetry all over the world. And I love Rumi, so I thought I spend the $75 for the front seat so I can go really learn how to read poetry. So it was fabulous because Mr. Darling, he's a cello player. So he is, the man reading is here, and the cello player is in here, and there's a dance between the 2 of them. I don't think someone to be able to do it as good, but I have brought some music, and I see how it goes. Today I'm going to be reading poetry from Pablo Neruda, my favorite poet. Neruda is a Chilean poet. He was born in 1904 and died in September 23, 1973. Neruda was his pen name. Neruda in 1971 received the Nobel Prize of Literature. He became known as a poet while still a teenager. He wrote in a variety of styles, including surrealist poems, historical epics, overly political manifestos, a prose autobiography, and erotically charged love poems, such as the one in his 1924 collection, 20 Love Poems and a Desperate Song. This was absolutely revolutionary in 1924 in literature, because he described women like women biologically are made. And the man took the courage to be able to go against, break the rules and break the status quo about how you write poetry. On July 15, 1945, at Pacaembu Stadium in Sao Paulo, Brazil, he read to 100,000 people in honor of the communist revolutionary leader Luis Carlos Prestes. During his lifetime, Neruda occupied many diplomatic positions and served a term as a senator for the Chilean Communist Party. When President González Videla outlawed communism in Chile in 1948, a warrant was issued for Neruda's arrest. Friends hid him for months in the basements of the house in the Chilean port of Valparaiso. Later, Neruda escaped through the mountains, passed near Maule Lake into Argentina. Years later, Neruda was close advisor to Chilean socialist president Salvador Allende. When Neruda returned to Chile after his Nobel Prize acceptance speech, Allende invited him to read at the Estadio Nacional before 70,000 people. So I probably have most of Neruda books, and I have spent a lot of time reading his poetry. This is, like I say, this is a love poem. This is one of my favorites that he has. Tonight I can write. Tonight I can write the saddest lines. Write, for example, the night is starry and the stars are blue and shiver in the distance. The night wind revolves in the sky and sings. Tonight I can write the saddest lines. I love her. And sometimes she loved me too. I love her, and sometimes she loved me too. Through nights like this one, I held her in my arms. I kissed her again and again under the endless sky. She loved me. Sometimes I love her too. How could one not have loved her great still eyes? Tonight I can write the saddest lines. To think that I do not have her, to feel I have lost her, to hear the immense night still more immense without her, and the verse fails to the soul like dew to the pasture. What does it mean that my love could not keep her? The night is starry, and that she is not with me. My sight tries to find her as though to bring her close. My heart looks for her, and she is not with me. The same night, widening the same trees, we of that time are no longer the same. I no longer love her, that's certain, but how I love her. My voice tried to find the wind to touch her hearing. Another's, she will be another's, as she was before my kisses. Her voice, her bright body, her infinite eyes. I no longer love her, that's certain, but maybe I love her. Love is so short, forgetting is so long. Love is so short, forgetting is so long. Because to nights like this one, I held her in my arms, my soul is not satisfied that it has lost her. Though this is the last pain that she makes me suffer, and these the last verses that I will write for her. So the idea with poetry is that when we do a regular speech, we deal with telling stories. And with poetry, you need to give the audience time to create your own images. When I'm talking about her still eyes, what comes to your mind? Have you ever seen somebody with the most beautiful eyes? When you're talking about, I used to hold her on my arms. You have held people in your arms, and they're no longer here. Whether they were lovers, or family, or friends. So we don't read poetry today. So I encourage you to look at poetry and read poetry, because it's an unbelievable message what the writer tried to express without telling a story.